Tuesday Talks Talk 1, Exploring Harry Potter Book, Chapter Themes. Today's topic, The Boy Who Lived, Book 1, Chapter 1, Themes. Today's Tuesday Talk agenda. What are Harry Potter books and where can they be found? Who are the book's target audience? And why am I choosing to explore and talk about Harry Potter book themes? Themes found within Chapter 1 of Book 1 and a chosen theme. Today's theme-focused essay question, answering the essay question, the Christian message, takeaways, and thanks. What are Harry Potter books and where can they be found? Harry Potter books are a series of children's books and fantasy novels written by the British author J.K. Rowling. They have been translated into more than 80 languages and as such are one of the most translated books in history. The books in the series can most commonly be found in public libraries, bookstores, both physical and online ones, and shops with catered book sections. Who are the book's target audience and why am I choosing to explore and talk about Harry Potter book themes? The target audience of J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter books are listed as children and teenagers aged between 9 to 12 and up. However, that does not mean the audience for the books are limited to this age group. The series' exploding popularity has highlighted its multi-generational appeal with its themes and messages on love and loss, the sacrifices made for it, the power of good friends in helping to overcome life's obstacles, and the importance of family and community, and acting to aid and support the vulnerable and maltreated in society. Messages which have resonated deeply with its readers worldwide. After childhood spent within the pages of these books, I'm looking forward to exploring and talking about how its themes and messages can help us in our daily lives. Themes found within Chapter 1 of Book 1 and a chosen theme to explore and talk about. Themes: contrasting worlds, the magical realm versus the muggle world, fear of the unknown, love as a form of protection. Today's chosen theme: sacrifice for the greater good. Today's theme-focused essay question: discuss the role of sacrifice as protective force within Chapter 1 of Book 1, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Answering the themed essay question. Introduction. Sacrifice, according to the Collins Dictionary, is to surrender something valuable for the sake of something else, or to give it up for a higher purpose. It can also refer to the act of offering a person, animal, or possession to a deity. In a non-religious context, it means to give up something important to you, while a protective force is typically something which protects or safeguards from harm and danger its intended target. In everyday language, a force can be seen as a powerful source of strength, for example, a gale of force, while in terms of physics, it's something which can cause an object to move, stop moving, speed up, slow down, or change its direction. Force can also be seen as a strong influence or pressure to compel something or someone to do something within a social context. In this essay, I will explore how a willingly made, unwillingly made, and unchosen no choice made sacrifice within Chapter 1 of Book 1 of J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series can provide the role of powerful protective force to individuals and communities of people working to shield the greater good, which are normally the largest number of people within a set society or environment, and often benefit at the expense of individuals or the minority within that society. Body paragraph 1. A willing sacrifice made. In order for the little boy Harry to have survived the attempted murder made by Voldemort on his life, willing sacrifices were made to keep him safe. A protective force, which saved his life and enabled him to become the boy who lived. You know what everyone's saying about why he's disappeared? About what finally stopped him? They're saying that last night Voldemort turned up in Godric's Hollow. He went to find the Potters. The rumour is that Lily and James Potter are dead. This extract indicates that Harry's survival came at the cost of the sacrifices of his parents' lives Lily and James Potter. Although not explicitly stated, we can only imagine, after reading chapter 1 of book 1, that they acted in ways to ensure that their son was both protected and shielded from immediate danger, which sadly came at the cost of their lives. One could argue that they were placed in a situation which gave them little to no choice but to sacrifice themselves. However, I think we can agree that out of love for their child, they willingly took actions in order to safeguard and protect their son. Thus, their willing sacrifice powerfully protected the little boy from a great danger to his life, and subsequently, willing sacrifices are shown to have the role of protective life-saving forces, or the one sacrificed for, the one his parents desperately tried to protect. Caput Draconis. Body paragraph 2. Unwillingly made sacrifices. In order for Harry to continue to be protected by his parents' sacrifice, some unwilling sacrifices were made in Chapter 1 of Book 1 of J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter book series. I've come to bring Harry to his aunt and uncle. They're the only family he has left now. You don't mean, you can't mean, the people who live here? Dumbledore, you can't. There will be books written about Harry. Every child will know his name. Exactly. It would be enough to turn any boy's head. Professor McGonagall's reluctance to leave Harry for people who are not part of the wizarding world highlights to the reader and audience the potential difficulties that will occur with Harry's placement in the care of his Muggle relatives. However, Dumbledore goes on to show why this chosen sacrifice must be made to protect Harry from the dangers of being famous before he can even walk or talk. Therefore, these temporary guardians of Harry are placing him in the protection of his relative's home with the hopes of safeguarding him from too much fame, attention, and the corruption of character that can have to an unmatured mind. Additionally, another unwilling sacrifice that will be made and can be predicted from the first few pages of chapter 1, as seen in the Dursleys' unwillingness to be associated with the Potters. The mere mention of the Potters causes fear and anger to appear from within the husband and wife pair. Thus, taking care of the baby boy Harry, placed at their doorsteps, will likely be a future unwilling sacrifice made by the Dursleys. One could argue putting Harry in such a place is counterproductive for protecting and nurturing him, as his uncle and aunt seem to already have some prejudice against him and his parents, and as such foreshadows to the audience he will most likely be treated quite badly within their care. However, this potential neglect and mistreatment, when put up against the dangers of Harry growing up in the wizarding world, in comparison to the relatively safe Muggle world, could cause some to agree with Dumbledore's declaration that it's the best place for him. For now, anyway, away from the dangers of magic, the magical forces and people who could attempt to harm or take advantage of him or even corrupt him. Hence, the unwilling sacrifices made in this chapter will in the future act as a protective force to protect Harry as he grows up. Thus, we can see how unwilling sacrifices reluctantly made can provide protection at a cost to the ones who make that sacrifice and the one whom the sacrifice is made to protect. Body paragraph 3. An unchosen sacrifice made can provide a powerful protective force for the greater good, as seen in chapter 1 of book 1. A protective force came about through an unintended sacrifice, that of Voldemort's breaking power, which provided protection from the dangers Voldemort, also known as you-know-who, posed. A non-choice made sacrifice which provided benefits of peace, joy, and freedom for the greater wizarding world, and unknowingly, Muggles too. Voldemort's power somehow broke, and that's why he's gone. Through this quote, we learn how when Voldemort was unable to kill Harry, his powers somehow broke. In his attempt to kill Harry, Voldemort seemingly unwillingly and unknowingly sacrificed his powers and life force. This sacrifice arguably provided a protective force for the greater good of the wizarding communities in the Muggle world too, from someone who apparently killed many people, as Professor McGonagall explicitly states with shock. After all he's done, all the people he's killed, he couldn't kill a little boy. It's astounding, of all the things to stop him. On one hand, this outcome suggests unintended or unchosen made sacrifices can end up acting in the long term as a powerful, positive, protective force for the greater good, ensuring the welfare of the majority are protected from negative forces and threats like Voldemort and his mighty powers. On the other hand, one could argue this is a rare, unaccounted for outcome from a negative source and negative intention, the intention to kill a small, vulnerable boy, and as such, a shaky sacrifice to explore as having a role in providing a positive, protective force to others. Yet, we can't ignore that Voldemort's disappearance and break in power truly did have a massive positive effect on the wizarding world, as seen in Daedalus Diggle's supposed conjuring of shooting stars in celebration of freedom from Voldemort's reign, in the many meetings within the wizarding community celebrating Harry Potter, the boy who lived. Thus, we can conclude here that even unchosen, non-choice made, and unintended sacrifices can have far-reaching effects on individuals and communities, powerfully protecting instances of peace, joy, and freedom from destructive forces. Conclusion. To conclude, in this essay I discussed how sacrifice is shown within Chapter 1 of Book 1 of J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter book series can come in multiple forms. It can be a willing sacrifice made, an unwilling sacrifice made, or an unchosen, no-choice sacrifice made, all of which can provide a powerful and protective, life-saving force and shields to vulnerable individuals like Harry, and for the greater good, notably worldwide communities such as the Wizarding and Muggle worlds. As such, various types of sacrifices are shown to have the vital role of shielding individuals and communities of people from immense harm and danger. I also explored how even negative intentions can result in positive outcomes for the greater good, as seen when Voldemort's powers are sacrificed as a result of being unable to kill the baby Harry Potter. Thus, I believe it is important to take note of how even the things we don't want to sacrifice for, or have no choice but to sacrifice for, can in fact cause a life-saving protective force for our greater communities and the individuals who live within them. Thus, in terms of themes, Chapter 1, The Boy Who Lived, teaches us the importance of sacrifice and how it can provide powerfully protective protection to vulnerable children, vulnerable individuals, and act to serve for the benefits of the greater good. The Christian Message. The Christian Message. Sacrifices made which provide a protective force for individuals and communities is something which can also be seen throughout the Bible. In both the Old Testament and the New Testament books, people sacrifice both unwillingly and willingly to aid and protect individuals and their wider communities, as seen especially in the story of the Good Samaritan and Jesus' ultimate sacrifice on the cross for the good of all humanity, the latter of which is often described as the greatest love one can have. For greater love has no one than this, that he lay down his life for his friends. John 15:13. This is my command, love each other. John 15:17. This links love and sacrifice together, suggesting that the ultimate act of love is sacrifice as exemplified by Jesus Christ. Therefore, to love is to sacrifice. And as such, when we sacrifice in our own lives, we can consider how we are showing our love to one another, like Jesus Christ. Tuesday takeaways, shout outs. If you would like a chance at Saturday non-speaking shout out, post a category fitting comment under the Tuesday Talk video with its related passwords. All future Tuesday Talk passwords will reference Harry Potter books, and there will be 2 of them. For example, today's talk password 1 is Caput Draconis, which is also the very first password ever used in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and can be found mentioned around the middle section of this Tuesday's Talk video. while password 2 can usually be found towards the end of my Tuesday Talk videos. For example, today's talk password 2 is Dragon's Head. Why have a Saturday shoutout segment? The aim is to encourage more engagement, debates, and make space for other people's voices and ideas to be heard or seen. Enable viewer appreciation and recognitions, an opportunity for me to engage and learn more from and about you, the viewer, and last but not least, hoping to shine a light on all my awesome worldwide watchers and fellow foodies. The 7 comment shout out categories: a thoughtful comment with a password, a funny comment with a password, a Patreon pick comment, a comment with today's password 1, a comment with today's password 2, a good suggestion comment with a password, a comment which presents counter ideas and or brings new ideas to the table with a password attached. Posted password included comments will be reviewed and compiled over the following 3 days. In order to be included in this week's Saturday's non-speaking shoutout session, the comment posting inclusion cutoff time will be Thursday, 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Thank you for tuning in to today's Tuesday Talk, praying that you will have a truly tranquil rest of your Tuesday. P.S. Tuesday Talks Talk 2 will explore the Vanishing Glass, Book 1, Chapter 2 themes. Wishing you all the very best until then.
We're out dancing in the dark, broken pieces, open hearts, finding out just who we are. Painting over every scar, turning tragic into art. Feels like magic, just like magic.